So it's good to see you all in here. Um, Good to have our deacons in here. Appreciate you all coming in, our missionaries and our other members, as well as we have our minister, the fellow minister, Minister Redeem. Good to see you all up in here again. Um, won't be before you all too long, but if I could ask our deacon Mel to lead us in prayer for opening service.
Would love to. Bow our heads. Dear Heavenly Father, we come before you in your gracious kindness, light, to ask you to watch over this ministry, to guide it, and let it grow. Please, God, help this ministry, help the world. We know you're coming back soon. Please touch us, guide us with the Holy Spirit, the ones that don't have it and that seeking it, like myself. Thank you, Jesus, for everything. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you for that, Deacon Mel. That was a beautiful prayer. And um, with that, I'm gonna go ahead. I guess I'm just gonna go ahead and get right into it. Right into it. I have plenty of scriptures right here. I'm gonna be reading and listing off. I may not get through all of them because I know how I am, and you all know how I am. I get a little bit antsy, but do it. So today, as I've done last week Wednesday, last Bible study, we talked about one of the fruits of the Spirit, and that one was patience. And as I said before, all the fruits of the Spirit work together hand in hand. So, of course, the next fruit of the Spirit that we're going to be talking about, I kind of chose one randomly, and the next one is gentleness. So, gentleness. We're going to talk about, we're going to go for definitions, the root word of it, where it comes from, and different forms of gentleness, the stories of it in the Bible, and the opposites of it in other mythologies, because there are plenty in this one that we have. I don't think we've really tackled too much. We have, but not too much. And we're going to we're going to also talk about different examples, right? So let's get into it. So before we talk about the definition of gentleness, we need to know where it comes from. So gentle, an adjective, is well born of noble rank or family, from Old French, or it says high-born, worthy, noble, of good family, courageous, valiant, fine, good, and fair. In modern French, nice, graceful, pleasing, fine, pretty, and directly from Latin gentilis, of the same family or clan, in medieval Latin, of noble or good birth, from genitive gentis, or gens, its race, clan, and from root of gingenere. I probably said that pronounced Gigner. I don't know. It's Gignere. Pronounce that how you will. Beget from PIE root or pi root. Gene, to give birth, beget from pi root, or gene, give birth, beget, with derivatives referring to procreation and familial and tribal groups. And as we go further and further down, having the character or manners of one of noble rank or birth, gracious and kind. These are different things that come up from older English, or as we've discussed in Root Latin or Medieval Latin. And the ness, a word forming element denoting action, quality, or state attached to an adjective or past participle to form an abstract noun. From Old English, ness, from Proto-Germanic, in asu, cognates Old Saxon, Middle Dutch, Nisi, Old Saxon is Nisi, Dutch is Nis, Old High German is Sa, German is Nis, and Gothic is from originally belonging to the noun stem asu, abstract noun suffix, probably from the same root as Latin. Here we have the word tuda, which is in Latin. So Gentle and ness are two separate parts. So the simple form, gentle, meaning of rank, noble rank or birth. Ness, attaching itself to making something an action, quality, or state. Only being attached to an adjective or a past participle form of abstract, as they say. So now that we know what it means or what it comes from, what does the word gentleness mean? So gentleness has three definitions that I have here with me. There could be more, could be plenty more, and maybe urban dictionaries or other dictionaries. But here I have with me in this dictionary of Oxford Languages, first definition, quality of being kind, tender, or mild-mannered. The second definition is softness of action or effect. Lightness. And the third and final definition that I have here with me, a courteous or chivalrous quality attributed to noble birth. So, the first one, kind, tender, or mild-mannered. Michael was admired for his gentleness and tolerance. So, essentially, it's like this. Remember how I gave the analogy for last time when I talked about patience? I talked about the analogy of my blue raspberry flavored juicy juice, blue raspberry punch flavored juicy juice to be exact, and how I talked about having patience, because if somebody doesn't know that it was mine, they take it. Instead of being so quick to anger, I have to understand, calm down. So instead of let's use that same analogy, right? You will use almost the same scenario. We'll switch up some parts. It still deals. Wow, I switched that part. It still deals with gentleness. It's just we swapped out the part where I would be patient and I'd have to be more gentle. So we're going to use PK for this again. Or no, instead of using PK, let's use missionary Grammy, right? Let's use my grandmother. So, my grandma, I love you very much. And she knows this, and she loves me very much. So, let's say I have my blue raspberry flavored juicy juice, right? My blue raspberry punch juicy juice. Now I have it, instead of having it, actually, I'm gonna go get me one because, I like the flavor. I like the taste. I'm like, I'm drinking it. I'm like, ooh, this tastes bomb. I'm just down in it. And, I'm drinking it. My grandma, she sees me and, think nothing of it. So let's fast forward about a week later. My grandmother and I are at the grocery store. We go to the grocery store, let's say either Aldi's or no, Walmart, because Walmart. And let's say we're talking, we're having a great conversation. Talking about anything, literally. Grandma could be, telling me about the baby, giving me some pointers on it, or I'm keeping her updated with it, or we could be talking about God. We could be talking about anything. My grandmother and I talk about a lot of different things. So as we're walking, I have some money in my pocket. My grandma only has enough to get herself something for groceries. She can't really spend whatever she wants. So, but I have enough to spend for both of us. I just have a bunch of free money on hand. Let's say like 40, $50. Don't sound like a lot in today's economy, but just bear with me. So 40, $50, and we're walking. We're just in the store shopping. We're going to checkout. And right at Walmart, when they have those checkout sections, either self-checkout or actual checkout, they kind of bait you where they have the snacks, like, especially if you have a little kid. Oh my goodness. They got candies, gummies. They got juices, chips, drinks, sodas. They got all that right there at checkout. So the kid can be like, mommy, I want that. And then, you kind of got no choice but to buy it for them, or they make you feel like you have no choice but to buy it for them. Because they on purpose going to want to tease the kid. And then they get the kid to tease you to like, hey, mom, I want this. And so you can so you can have a happy child, and you don't want to, you love them. You're like, okay, cool. I'll get it for you. And therefore, boom, they get extra money. So, we're entering self-checkout. We're about to check out. And as my grandmother's loading up stuff and she's checking out and whatnot, I'm like, I want to get myself something too. And I see blue raspberry punch flavored juicy juice. Ha ha ha. And I'm like, ooh, and there's two. There's two left. Nobody's touching them, and I know I want one. And I am very thirsty. I am very thirsty. So I go, I grab one, and I'm gonna go and check out in a separate area. But my grandmother is also thirsty. Now, pause the story from that point. Based on the definitions you've heard, there are, as again, we're going to do this again, another quiz. There's a bunch of different answers on the board that I could do. Anything, there's a bunch of different things I could do in this scenario. I grab the juicy juice for myself, and I'm at the self checkout while my grandmother's in the next self checkout area next to me. Now she's thirsty. She sees me with this. Now now that's the scenario. That's the part where I can switch and do anything at that moment. Either A, option A, I could be a gentle grandson, go and get another juicy juice. The same flavor, just get that second one, that last one, and buy it for me and my grandma. And we drink it together and we're having a blast. Cured our thirst and we just go on about our day, right? Option B, I can just go put it back because it's like I don't want to spend money at the moment, like just because I don't want to be rude, I don't want to be rude and be drinking in front of her. She's not asking me for it, but at the same time too, I don't want to be rude and drink it knowing she's also thirsty. So you know what? I'll just put it back. I'll save the money. I'll wait until next time to get it. And we just go on about our day. Option C, I buy the juicy juice knowing my grandmother's thirsty and I'm drinking it in front of her, just gulping it down. You just hear the bottle and just all you hear and I'm just drinking it, just enjoying the deliciousness of that blue raspberry punch flavor. Mm-mm-mm. Option D, bonus option. I could not only buy her the juicy juice, but I know she's also hungry too. So I could also get us some snacks. Grandma don't eat Reese's like that, so I can give myself some Reese's. I can get her some Kit Kats or her favorite candy, Payday, or Babe Ruth's, Babe Ruth's, however it's pronounced. I forget. And we're snacking and we're drinking juice at the same time, and we're going about our day. And I'm sure there's many more options I could do at that point. I could be rude about it and be like, Grandma, I bought this with my own money or whatnot. Why didn't you buy it for yourself or whatnot? Knowing she has enough to get the groceries for the house and she can't spend it free willy, on herself. So a bunch of different things can happen. So take a wild guess as to what I would do. Well, instead of me, what would you do in that scenario? Not for my grandmother, but for someone you care for. For someone you care for, someone you love, someone you know. Okay. Thank you, Upstall Drum. Someone you love and someone you care for. You would most likely go with option A or option D. Option A, reminder, being you get them the same drink or a drink as well that they like, and you help them quench their thirst. Or option D, you not only get them a drink, you get them some food as well because you're sure that they're also hungry. They're going to want something solid and they want to wash it down as well with that juice, water, soda, coffee, tea, whatever it is that they want. Right. Now, let's go through that same scenario, but this time my grandmother is not with me. So instead of grocery shopping, I'm on a mission to just get something from the store. And I'm just in the store shopping around. I don't really have much in my cart. Let's say I have like some frozen pizza in my cart, some chips and a case of water. I just threw some random items in there, and for because we're on the PlayStation, let's say I got like two $25 PSN cards because they don't do $20 anymore. So let's say I got two $25 PSN cards equaling up to $50 PSN cards. In my cart, I probably have about at least like $60, $70 worth of food, worth of stuff in my cart in general, maybe more because inflation. However, now I have more than 50 or 60 on me because I predicted I was going to get thirsty or hungry later. Maybe I'm just going to want to snack and enjoy some of my own stuff. Don't need all those items. Don't even need the PSN cards, but I got it anyway because I have the money for it. Now, let's say I'm carrying $100 on me. And let's go on the highball and say that's about $75, $80 worth of stuff. And that means I have $20 left to spend on my person. Let's include the tax. That's why it's 80. So now I have $20 to spend on my person, and I can do whatever I want with it, whatever. So I'm having the stuff now. Next to me in the self-checkout is, as I said, not my grandmother, but it's a homeless man, right? Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, it's extreme because, of course, you would be more kind to that homeless man because he doesn't have anything. Okay, fine. I'll challenge you. Let's say it's just an average guy, just an average man. He's next to me in self-checkout. I'm thinking nothing of it. Got headphones in, I'm listening to music, and I'm just scanning my card, go, dum, 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 dum. I'm just scanning my stuff, Insert cash or select payment type, like do all that. And I'm putting in the money. I get back, my $20 and whatnot, maybe some change here or there, whatnot. And, I'm loading my stuff onto my cart. As I'm doing that, I can hear the guy. He's getting whatever he needs, but he's like, he scans an apple juice, a Welch's apple juice. I know I'm doing specific products, but hear me out. He scans Welch's apple juice. He doesn't, and he tries to pay for all the stuff he has. I'm already loading my cart and I'm about to head on out soon. So then I move my cart around. I'm about to leave and I hear his thing declines. He doesn't have enough. And I heard that. Despite how loud my music is, I always personally have one earbud in and one earbud out. So that way I can hear what's around me and then one earbud in because I like listening to my music or my video or podcast, whatever. Audible, what mind you, right? You can do whatever you want. But me, I do that. I hear him off of the free ear that I have. Now what can I do? I have $20 left. I could either A, be kind to this stranger. I see he has the money to get all the things he needs, almost all the things he needs, but he's also thirsty. Maybe he got a bunch of clothes in there. Maybe he got a bunch of food in there and no drinks. And he's just thirsty for himself. He don't want to open up a case of water or something like that just to grab a water and drink it in the car. He's trying to bring his stuff home. But I don't know any of this. All I see is that there's a guy who has a bunch of items in his cart and he only is short because he only has enough for the rest of the items and can't get that apple juice. And I can show off the fruits of the spirit and show gentleness to him. I can be gentle with him and give him some money to pay for that apple juice. That way he has something to quench his thirst when he's going home or wherever he needs to go with the groceries and the items he got from the store. I can be nice. You ever heard the saying, pay it forward, where somebody does something nice for you, but you don't know who did it, and it's like you're in a McDonald's or Burger King drive-through, and you order, your big smokes. I want 2 number 9s, a number 9 large, a number 6 with extra dip, one with cheese, 2 45s, one with cheese, and a large soda. And I probably isn't even all of his order. I think I got some. I think I skipped one. But let's say you ordering a lot of food like that. Comes, okay, your total is up to $120.13, sir. Please go into the part of the window. Thank you. All right. And you drive forward. You go up there to pay. How you doing, sir? Somebody already paid for your food. I'm sorry? Yes, somebody paid for your food already. Yeah, your food is good. Your food is already paid for. Here, and they pass you your food. You're like, oh my goodness. I ordered $120.13 worth of food. And large meals, you know, big meals, and somebody paid all that for me. Somebody showed me kindness. Somebody showed gentleness, right? So then they tell you, well, they told me to tell you to pay it forward. So now someone showed you gentleness. You have now the option to do the same thing for the person behind you. So what do? Remember, the person who paid for your food is a stranger. And the person who is behind you is also a stranger. You have the option to, nah, I'm good, and just drive away with the food that was paid for you, that was blessed to you, or you could pay it forward. You could show kindness to that person behind you. Somebody did this for me, I'm going to do something for you. And we just keep it on going. That's how blessings work. You do something, you're blessed, you do something for someone else. It's a consistent cycle. It's a consistent cycle of blessings. God bless you with $100. You give $50 to a homeless person. Oh, God bless you. He says that. He says, God bless you. Now the glory goes back to God. And then he therefore blesses you again. You bless someone else again. God bless you. Goes back to him again. It's a whole cycle. It's a whole cycle of nothing but good. It's a literal cycle of nothing but goodness just happening. Just consistent cycle. So you, in that drive-through, well, how much do they have to pay? Oh, their food is $35.53. Okay, I'll pay it. Pay for their food, you drive off, they tell the same thing as that same person. Somebody paid for your food, and he said to pay it forward to the person behind you. Oh, well, thank you. But that person be like, well, I appreciate it, but I'm good. Now, they missed out on the blessing. They got their food paid for them. You blessed someone else. You did something good for them. Show gentleness. Show gentleness. So now God's going to bless you for doing that. Don't worry about them. They didn't have to do it. So they're not wrong for not paying for the person's food behind them. But because you decided to do that out of your own volition, out of your own free will, do that. God's going to bless you for that. And he will not forget it. And yet gentleness is one of the fruits of the spirit, because not many people are kind these days. Not many people are like that. You hear plenty of stories of people just being dark, gloomy, all about themselves. Oh my goodness, woe is me. When can I have, when will I ever get, when will I, like it's always about them. They always want to get revenge. Revenge is a dish best served cold. No, what I like to say, revenge is a dish that is prepared by the greatest chefs with the greatest ingredients, with so much love and kindness in your heart, and you feed it to your enemy. You let them eat the best of the best from you, and you leave it alone. Meaning you let God handle it. You still be kind. Somebody told me once when I said that saying, I said that like years ago, back in I was freshman year of high school when I said that. I gave that analogy. Someone was like, oh no, revenge is the dish best served cold. Why would you, yeah, let them eat cold food. It look hot, but it's cold. They eating it and they're like, ugh. Like, no, that's not the best way to get revenge. The best way to get revenge, Keithan. The best way to get revenge is to be kind to them and leave them alone. Keep your distance from them. Because you showed them that you're the bigger person. Why would you be petty back? Life is too short for that nonsense. Eye for an eye and the world goes blind. Why would you do this? Why can't we be like Jesus and show gentleness, like how he showed gentleness to the woman who was caught in adultery? He could have stoned her. He had no sin. He said, he who has not sinned cast the first stone. Meaning, any of y'all didn't sin ever. Oh yeah, strike her. Do it. Go ahead. Lay her out. They was like, oh well, I mean, like, dang, bro, like, all right. And they all dropped him and walked away. And she thought she was going to die. He was like, nah, no more. I forgive you. He showed her gentleness. He had the actual right to take her life. You even hear it in Genesis. The wages of sin is death. He even told them, if you eat from that tree, you will surely die. We've been dying ever since. So he had the right to take her life, but he didn't. He showed her gentleness, kindness. He showed her the acts of a noble, high rank, someone who was born of noble ranking. Like Solomon, Saul was also a king. Someone who was of noble, high ranking power. So not just through kings and queens, but through priests, like pastors. It's considered a noble ranking. So Pastor K could literally be clowned on by somebody. Could be getting roasted by them. He's holding his own. He's letting them know, like, hey, like he's letting them know what the Bible says, but they're like, nah, I don't believe in the Bible. He's showing them gentleness. He's still trying to teach them and trying to bring their souls in, because once they leave and if he never sees them again, they don't change. It's done. It's wraps. We all know. We all know. Come on, where they gonna go? We all know. We can't sit there and be like, well, come on now. It's raps. Even First Lady, considered noble. She's the First Lady. She's to the pastor. How a queen is noble to her king. A First Lady is noble with her pastor. She's also considered a noble. If she gets into a heated debate with somebody and they just trying to clown and roast her, she's showing them kindness by letting them know what the Bible says and trying to reel them in, telling them in the church, let us teach you. This is what it says. She's disproving every point they're trying to make, saying that, oh, the Bible isn't real, it's a scam, or that prove that Jesus is God, prove that Jesus is real, prove that any of this ever happened, prove that the Ark of the Covenant exists today, prove that the Red Sea was actually split, prove that the tectonic plates was actually caused by Jesus and by natural selection, prove that apes and monkeys are not human. Prove all that. And she's proving it. She's literally knocking everything out. And they still don't want to listen. She's still showing them gentleness. She's showing them not only gentleness, but patience. It goes back to the fruits of the Spirit. All of them are connected as one. As I've stated before, they are all connected. They all work hand in hand. She got to have the patience to keep calm and be kind enough to work with them. She's being gentle. She's not arguing them down, yelling at them, you're stupid, you're this and that, you obviously don't know the Bible. No, she's not hitting them with that. Logically, if she think in her mind, dang, this person is really, like, they really don't know what is going on. She knows that she's also trying to help them. God knows her heart. She's trying to bring them back. She's trying to bring them in. So that way, they don't have to die and go and get slung by a demon that's 16 feet tall and can't do nothing about it because they can't move their arm. Like, nobody wants to go there, but they also don't want to believe in a kind and gentle, merciful God. And that's an issue. That's a heavy issue. How are we more fit to believe a God that has flaws like us than gods who are perfect? Because we can't relate to perfection. So when someone as perfect as Jesus comes down and says, I love you, we don't want to believe that. It's the same thing. Another human who has more than you, looks better than you, drives a better car than you, wears better clothes than you, has a bigger house than you, has more options than you, has more assets than you, and that same person who you think is better than you, telling you, I choose you, or I love you, I want to be with you, let's be homies, let's hang out. You don't believe that. You think it's an ulterior motive. It's the same logic. It's just worse because God is perfect. So we naturally are going to renege. We're not going to want to do it. We're not going to be around. We're going to actively try to reject being around him. How do you stand up to perfection? You know you can't. He even tells you, you cannot step to me. But I love you regardless because I created you out of the kindness and the gentleness of my heart. Because I love you, you breathe. Because I love you, you're alive. Because I love you, your body functions perfectly. Because I love you, you have an arm, two arms, fingers, toes, legs, a heart that beats, lungs that can breathe, an intestine that helps you digest food. You have kidneys that filter out the bad stuff that you drink on a daily basis. You have a brain. You have a skeleton to help you move that flimsy bag of meat and that's on you. And because I love you, I died for you and gave you a chance to come be with me forever. Ultimate form of gentleness right there. Once again, the act of a noble rank, a noble ranking member. And who's more noble? What's more noble of rank than being a literal God? The God of gods. Can't get no higher than that. I know we like to make a bunch of anime and whatnot, all Super Saiyan God. Then suddenly there's a higher power than being just a God. There's the Super Saiyan God with added mortal abilities added on to being a God. But it's not how that works. Not how that works. We want to keep seeing progression because we can't see perfection. That's why everything we create, why do you think they keep coming out with iPhones and Galaxies? Obviously, we're like, bro, there's too many phones. You don't need to do all that. But somehow, notice every new model they say is the same thing, which it is. Except there's always that one or two little feature that's new that was never on any phone before. And people be buying it because of the new features. Maybe the older features are better on the newer phone. Maybe instead of it being 1 pixel, now there's 2 pixels. Still can take a photo like the old phone, but now there's 2 pixels instead of one. So it's a bit higher graphics, fine. But you might be the person that's content with the older phone. I don't want to spend $3 million and an arm and a leg and half my kidney on a new phone because that's apparently how much they cost these days. I don't want to do that. I don't need that new phone. It does the same thing. Oh, did you know that if you was to say, hey, chicka, 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 you get free pizza on every Friday? Oh, I bet. And there you go. Arm, leg, half a kidney, and $3 million short, but you got that phone, and every Friday you can say, hey, chicka, 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 and get a free pizza. Every Friday. And then they come up the next year with another phone. That's the same one. Now instead of 2 pixels, they double it. It's 4. 4 pixels. You, once again, you're the same guy. You're content with the model you already have. The second edition. I'm cool on that third one. I'm cool on that, G. I can still see my photos as fine as I think they are. I don't care about the super high definition. And the new phone also can get you free pizza on Fridays. But if you know, but did you know that if you used to say, "Hey, Macarena," you get free cookies on a Monday? What? And there you go again. Another arm and leg, and the other half of your kidney gone. Now you got to get prosthetic limbs that probably work through your nerves and probably don't. Let's just say in this happy little universe, it works. So now you got prosthetic limbs, but you can move that phone though. And now you can say, hey, Macarena, and get free cookies on a Monday. And then, hey, chiki, 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 and get free pizza on a Friday. And you got a 4-pixel camera. And then the next year they come out with another one. They double that one, 8. And then the next year they double that one, 16. And then the next year they double that one, 32. And then the next one they double that one, 64. It's a constant cycle. We can never see perfection because we are not perfect. So we're going to keep upgrading as much as we can. We're going to, regardless. Even if you think you just got the greatest, the best ever. As much as I love playing on this PS5, I know I might go get the PS6 when it comes out. I ain't gonna lie to you. As much as Pastor K loves his PS4, he's playing Tekken 7. He on Tekken 8 now. He plays on the PS5 that we have in our living room. He ranks on there. Because no matter what, you are not perfect. You can never see perfection. So you're going to keep upgrading, regardless. Whether it may not be technology, it will be clothes. And if it's not clothes, it will be items. And if it's not items, it will be a people. You can upgrade a person. Did you know that? How do you upgrade a person? If you sticking with somebody who's a bum and don't want to be around nobody and don't want to do anything in his life, you can upgrade them by leaving them alone and speak to somebody who at least is trying to start something. You can leave that person alone and be with somebody who's established something already but not so successful. Leave them alone and find somebody who's like middle class. They got something established, working very well, but can do better. Then you can leave them alone and find someone who's working so freaking well that they just going crazy. You can leave them alone and find somebody who's even richer and richer and richer. You can just keep going. It's a constant cycle. You will never find perfection on here. The only perfect person is God. And he shows us gentleness by having us be here, by giving us a chance to live, to be with him. It don't get no better than that. It does not. It's a consistent cycle. You ever wonder why we on the iPhone, however the heck the number is, I think 30s now. That's why. There's always something new in these features. Then to make it worse, they add little versions of it. They add the iPhone, iPhone Pro, iPhone Pro Max, iPhone S, iPhone X, iPhone whatever the heck. I thought the Xbox was starting to do that when they came out the Xbox 360, and then to Xbox One, Xbox Series S, and then the Xbox Series X. I'm like, what are we doing? Why are we following the Apple trend? PlayStation, at least they give you numbers. They tell you which one you want. The 5. The 4, the 3, the 2 and 1. You got a PSP? Oh, well, that's a PlayStation Portable. PlayStation VR? Then the PlayStation VR 2. They tell you at least. Why do you think so many video games that have sequels, the better ones, the ones that actually give you numbers, than the ones that tell you a whole separate name? Tekken, for instance, Tekken 2, Tekken 3, Tekken 4. But you don't see me playing another game like, I don't know, like Overwatch and Overwatch 2. They now have Overwatch 2, right? Boom, cool. But then what if Overwatch just come on Overwatch the new dawn? Oh, no, I got you. Horizon, Forbidden West. Okay, that's the first game, because we all know it came off the PS4. Horizon, Zero Dawn, and Horizon Forbidden West. Forbidden West, the second game. I'm sorry. See, look, I'm confused already. Zero Dawn was the first game. Forbidden West, the second game. But as you saw, I got confused. Now, if y'all are Horizon fans, or if y'all just fans of that, then cool. Y'all know. But others don't. Because it's like, oh, okay, we know it's connected because of the name. But where does this take place in? Because there's no two. There's no... What? You could be like Street Fighter and mix them both. Street Fighter 1, 2, 3, Third Strike. Then you got, like Street Fighter Alpha 3, Part 1, Street Fighter Alpha 3, Part 2, and then Street Fighter 4, 5, 6, and all that, which is crazy because even though the name of the games may come in order, and even in the storyline don't even take place in the same timelines like that. They have to flip them off and they just go weirdly. It's weird. So even then, but you're still upgrading. The game storyline itself is weird, but the graphics are crazy. Compare Street Fighter 6 to the first Street Fighter game. Come on now. and tell me which one you'd rather play. More mechanical structure, better ways to play, the graphics look amazing, rollback, which if you don't know what rollback is when you're lagging. Rollback frames help time your button presses. So when you press it, instead of it being lagging and you're not actually attacking on time, it helps you to attack on time in lag. So now you're just mashing square, you're mashing a punch, or you're trying to spam Hadoukens and Shoryukens and everywhere, and boom. But you can't do that in an older game. Older game, they only have limited movesets. So you can they hit you with those weird little frame traps. Is a frame trap, for all you fun-loving gamers, is an attack or a move that catches you, and it's always first. It's always first, and it'll always keep you there. So Hadoukens, if you ever been spammed with a Hadouken and don't know how to move, not necessarily a frame trap, but if there's somebody doing a circle kick and it's staggering you, and by the time you recover, they do it again, and they're faster than you, that's a frame trap. You can't get out of it. You're stuck. And especially if it's chip damage, you lost. Because they can chip your health out. Second you get low enough, they hit you again while you're blocking. You're dead. So let me go ahead and actually go into the examples of the opposite of gentleness, because I kind of went crazy. So let's go into the examples that are the opposite of gentleness. Now this one is tackling Egyptian mythology. And this is the story of Set, or Seth, however you want to pronounce him. Now, his story is very long, so I'm not going to get into it too much. But basically, he is the god of chaos and violence. I know, right? And as the god of chaos and violence, he has his part to play, to be chaotic and violent. So, he killed his brother, Osiris, and he was to rule in order to become the next king. Because his brother, his older brother Osiris, was next. He's like, nah, I can lead much better. Killed his brother, right? Boom. And instead, he became king until his nephew came about. His nephew, I forget his name for the moment, so pardon me. It'll come to me at some moment. But his nephew and Seth are having contests, and they're having contests for like millennia, so like 1,000 years, right? Why does it take this long to figure out who's the right king for the throne? I don't know, but goes to show you, flawed. Anyhow, they're having contests, and a bunch of different things happen in these different contests. There's one where they build best raft, and the nephew, he cheats a little bit with the help of his mom, and they kind of sink Seth's raft, and Seth is like, what the heck, I tried to mess up yours and somehow messed up mine. There's even a point where he invited his nephew to dinner to try, and it's like the contest is outside the contest. He even tried to invite his nephew to dinner, and get ready, because it's about to sound like some Zeus nonsense. And you're scared when I said that, and I'm talking about a nephew, male, and an uncle, male. So get ready, and this is about to be scary for us. So he brought his nephew over for dinner, and they hung out for a little bit. He pretended to be kind to his nephew, like, hey man, I understand we keep trying to overthrow each other and try to take over, whichever area and whatnot. And you know what? This might be wrong. We shouldn't be doing this. We are uncle and nephew. We are we're close, right? We're uncle and nephew. I don't know if any of y'all are nephews. I know some of you are. And I know I have my uncle in here. So I love you, uncle, but bear with me. This story is about to get real graphic real fast. But they're uncle and nephew. They're supposed to love each other. Like how maybe y'all uncles or nephews, y'all love y'all uncles and nephews, So they're talking, and he has his nephew spend the night. Now, what to do is, as his nephew is sleeping, he actually drugged his nephew, supposedly, or at least he thought he did, and put his nephew to sleep, and tried to put his man fluids inside of his nephew, and use that as evidence to say that he dominated his nephew, therefore he should be king. Right? So then he ends up going to eat before he goes to sleep. And he devours some lettuce out in the field. He just got real hungry. He wanted some lettuce that was outside in the field, right? So they go, and he goes and tells the gods, the high court council, and says, I dominated my nephew. I put my man fluids in him and showed that I dominated him. So they said, okay, well, let's see. So then they did some weird type of magic and whatnot. They pulled out his man fluid, the nephew's man fluid, actually from outside, from inside of Seth, from his lower region, right? And they found Seth's man fluids. I hate doing this, but I have to because it has to be explained. Seth's man fluids was found inside his own mouth from that lettuce he ate. And you're wondering, well, how did that happen? Because the nephew knew what his uncle was trying to do, and he managed to get a hold of the man fluid and put it on some lettuce that he knew his uncle would eat. And therefore, he showed that he actually dominated his uncle and should be king. Long story short, the nephew became the king, and Seth was pretty mad about it. And there's different stories that show either he submitted, he keeps trying to contest, or he actually went to war and lost, and maybe some other stuff. But as you can show, that sounds the opposite of gentle. And I hate to paint that picture into your heads, but this is stuff that people believed and worshiped, especially in Egypt. Hence why it's known as Egyptian mythology. Hence why you can actually see there was statues of these gods, including Seth, inside the Pharaoh's palace, especially when Moses was around. And they had the Jews to pray to these said false gods when they had them in captivity. I don't know about y'all, but I can't know. Like, at least if you're going to be a god of chaos and violence, why would you, with your nephew? Okay, we're gonna hop off that train and we're gonna hop onto another train. So let's move from that. But as you can see, I'll give you more stories in Egyptian mythology that show the opposite of gentleness, you know, and even in other mythologies, even other religions that are active now, I could give you more stories. But for the sake of time, I won't. So let's just remember, so far we covered two of the fruits of the spirit. We've got patience, and now you know you know how patience works, and now you know how gentleness works. Just whenever you see a stranger or somebody that's in need, you remember you're not obligated to do anything nice for them if they're, but it shows good faith and it shows kindness when you do something for someone who's in need, like charities, donation centers. Like, a lot of those places are showing gentleness. They're helping people who are less fortunate and that are in need. Shelters, you know? And there are some people who are just that evil that will be working there or go there and they start stealing stuff. And it's like, this is stuff that people who don't have it need. Why is someone like you, someone who doesn't need it, doing this to them? That's wrong, but they don't care. That's how they are. A lot of people are just like that. I want to say some, but a lot of people are like that, unfortunately. You don't find many stories about people doing something nice for them. Now, there are some people like, you know, Cali Crew or Mr. Beast that do something nice. They just show it on camera. And to be honest with you, it's like mixed. It's like a mixture of feelings. Like, on one hand, they're doing something nice for people. Can't fault them for that. They're actually feeding people, or, you know, the whole building houses, thousands of houses in Africa or something like that, or whatnot. You know, like, they're actually helping people. They're actually helping people with things that they need. But, you know, also recording it and getting the views. But then again, if that's how they get paid in order to help somebody, then, you know, go on. Do what you got to do, right? Do what you got to do to help somebody. But at the end of the day, you could be kind like them. Just do it off camera. You don't got to be on camera to do it. You know, for us, I'm saying, be kind to them. Be merciful to them. Show them gentleness. Help them. They may really need it. Even if it's somebody you look at and don't think that they will need it, trust me. Everybody would love a helping hand, no matter how rich or poor, how smart or dumb, how fast or slow, how big or small, whoever you are, whoever you are, wherever you are, you will always not mind the help. Somebody who says, "Oh, I don't need help," they're lying. They might need the most help out of a lot of people. They just have so much pride they don't want to let you know, but they do need it. And you never know, that person who you're looking at that may seem like they got it all together may actually be getting ready to cancel their life subscription. And your gentleness might be the reason why they continue to live. They may see that one kind act of one random person after spending a long time feeling like the world doesn't care about them. They see you do something nice for them, just that one instance, and you just unknowingly save their life. Now, obviously, you're not going to be blamed if they take their own life because you didn't buy them that drink or you didn't give them $2 when they needed it. Obviously, if you don't want to, you don't have to. But because you did so, you showed gentleness, and God will bless you for that. So just be gentle, be kind, show gentleness, show the kindness of someone who is of noble ranking, because we all come from a God of gods. We all come from the creator of everything. So, of course, we are considered noble. Even if you don't feel like it, you are considered a noble. You are of noble high rank. You are a son or daughter of a living, breathing creator of all living and unliving things. So therefore, you being his child, you are a prince or princess. You are of high ranking. So show it. That's why we do it. That's why we have to do it. Show it. You are of high rank. So when you see somebody else, you may assume they may not be in need or whatnot. But if you hear card decline, if you see somebody behind you and you just want to do something kind and you're in the middle of a drive-through line, you could be going out to eat and you actually be in the store in line in front of somebody. You pay for your food. You go back when that person is done ordering that was behind you and you say, "I got this," and you pay for them. You don't have to do it. I know, but I want to. I want to. You don't owe me anything. Just pay it forward. Do something nice for somebody else. Could be that person. You can be that person. Just be that person. Give your time to somebody. Maybe they really need to talk to someone and they really need to get stuff off their chest. They can't go to nobody else. Give them that time. Give them that time. With that, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. I appreciate you all listening to me. I appreciate you all letting me teach you all about gentleness, the second fruit of the Spirit. I want to thank God for all of you coming in. I also want to thank Pastor K. If he's listening in, either in here or on YouTube, I want to give honor and shout out to Pastor K for letting me be over Bible study once again. Um, I also want to thank First Lady May for also agreeing with this decision and also letting me be a part of Bible study. I want to thank you all again for tuning in, listening in. And those of you that's on YouTube, I appreciate you listening in as well, because you could just be doing something else or not even be tuned in at all. And I appreciate you all listening in and learning something new. Just take this, run with it, because you never know. One of you may have needed this talk. Shoot, maybe myself. Who knows? But Go ahead, do something nice, go show some gentleness, and we'll talk about another fruit of the spirit. I won't say what it is, but I'll give you all a hint. It starts with the letter P. Take that as you will, and we'll reconvene again this Friday. If there's nothing left, then have a great rest of your night, all of you, and we'll see you all again Friday. And until next time, God bless you all. Goodbye, everyone. Love you all.